but you get his point. Christine Brennan went on CNN to talk about the fallout of this. She shared it on her
last year, the highest rated playoff game, 2.5 million, going up to a peak of 3.4 million, which Las Vegas did beat Indiana. That could have been 4 or 5 million, even going up against the baseball playoffs.
I can't doubt her on that at all. I can't doubt her. So congratulations, Cathy. You now have Scott Van Pelt destroying you.
Did Caitlin Clark just force the WNBA to face its biggest crisis ever? The commissioner herself admitted this is the most important time in league history. But after Clark's exit interview, Cathy Engelbert is the one getting roasted by media powerhouses like Stephen A. Smith. Fans are asking if this is the moment everything cracks wide open for the league. Stay with me, because the answer to why people say Engelbert is cooked is much bigger than what played out in Indiana. This is the story of who really controls the future of women's basketball. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Why did one interview at the very end of the season set off such a massive debate across sports media? It wasn't a finals press conference. It wasn't some wild locker room rant. It was Caitlin Clark sitting down for her exit interview. That's what made it strange. Her tone was calm. Her words weren't fiery, but people could tell something felt off. You know when someone tries to keep it polite, but you sense the frustration underneath? That's what happened.
Gotta go. That's a weak-ass response. I'm gonna say it one more time. That's a weak-ass response.
That's where we're going to stop with Stephen A.
For Caitlin Clark's second and last playoff game a full year ago. This year they're in the 1 millions, 1.5.
Oh boy. Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA, Caitlin Clark commented, quote, "We need great leadership at this time across all levels." Nafisia shared on Cathy Engelbert said about her, hasn't heard from Engelbert since. Your commissioner did not reach out to the most popular.
Her answers created a storm that had fans, journalists, and former players questioning not only her health, but whether the league's leadership had completely lost control. She explained that she'd been grinding through rehab, working every day to get back to full strength. She admitted the ankle issue was serious, one of the worst sprains she'd ever had. Then she added how it came during her second full workout back. That detail caught people's attention, because she wasn't painting some picture of quick recovery. Instead, she said the ankle really kept her from even knowing if her groin had fully healed. In plain words, that meant multiple setbacks and multiple question marks. Still, she didn't rant about the medical staff. She didn't take direct shots at teammates. What seemed to stick with listeners was that combination of transparency and restraint. She kept the focus on the work she put in, but left an opening for people to wonder why updates had been so confusing all along. That's where the tension kicked in. Here was the league's most marketable player, a rookie already carrying ratings and headlines. But during weeks of questions about her condition, we didn't hear much at all from the league office. The commissioner didn't step to the mic, didn't give clarity, didn't even seem to be directly in touch. So Clark's careful words stood out against silence. And once people connected the dots, it started looking a lot less like an ordinary injury story and more like a failure at the top.
Twitter.
Affecting the league. It's certainly what could be with the TV ratings has not happened. Understand it and frankly embrace it. Why would you have trouble with it? Obviously racial issues, there's a lot going on. As soon as they figure that out, then they will be able to move forward.
She said if she'd played in Game 5, that'd have been a 4 or 5 million viewed basketball game. Without her being gone first. Stephen A. Smith, and we'll just go from there. Cathy's getting crushed.
Cathy Engelbert needs to resign.
This is the most important time in league's history. Fee said it all. Nafisi Collier said it all. She also did say she hadn't heard the story.
Her exit interview gave just enough for critics to grab hold of. Clark made clear she wanted leadership at every level during such a crucial time. Saying it's the most important time in the league's history was a big statement. She may not have named Cathy Engelbert, but the shadow of that comment fell straight onto her desk. Because when your star says leadership is needed and you've been invisible, it feels like a direct call-out. The media wasted no time. Stephen A. Smith went right at Engelbert, saying her response was weak. You know how powerful his voice is. Once he labels something a weak-ass response, that becomes the line replayed on every sports channel. Fans who were already frustrated with the lack of info suddenly had a megaphone blasting the same criticism. Calls for Engelbert to step down spread faster after that moment, and it was all tied to Clark's understated interview. And then Christine Brennan added even more heat on CNN. She didn't just talk feelings, she brought numbers. Clark's games had reached 3.4 million viewers, higher than anything the league had seen in decades. Brennan even predicted a potential playoff Game 5 with Clark could have hit 4 or even 5 million viewers. That's not hype. That's money left on the table if injury drama isn't handled right. Her point was simple. How can the league claim growth when it won't protect the player driving that growth? Others chimed in too. Nephi Collier highlighted Engelbert's distance from the entire discussion. No calls, no quotes, no presence. For a commissioner,
Caitlin Clark is it. She is by far the economic rocket ship of that league. As soon as a leader and the players admit that, they're not going to reach 2.5 million. Caitlin Clark, had she been playing last night in Game 5 of that series,
that she has not already been removed from leadership. And I don't know how they get a CBA done without superstar in women's sports. The commissioner didn't call her about this. I'm shocked that Cathy Engelbert's got a job right now as we speak.
that absence looked like she wasn't connected to the issues hitting the league. People started comparing the social media numbers as proof of how upside down things had become. Clark with 3.6 million Instagram followers, more than the league's own page. When your rookie already outweighs the league brand online, it makes leadership's silence look even worse. By the end of the week, what started as Clark explaining a painful ankle sprain had turned into something much bigger. Those exit interviews exposed the gap between what the league says it wants and what it actually delivers. Engelbert didn't take control of the moment, and instead of calming things down, the lack of response added chaos. That's why so many reporters and fans are pointing at these interviews as proof she's not matching words with action. Now the question hanging over all of this is obvious. If things look this unstable over one player's injury, what happens when the new CBA and Clark's massive economic impact collide with the same leadership? Caitlin Clark is already the league's engine for growth, but leadership looks like the brake instead of the accelerator. Franchise values are climbing. The CBA is about to expire, and this is the moment when steady direction should matter most. Yet, Cathy Engelbert is under fire, with voices like Scott Van Pelt saying she's in a lot of trouble. The danger is clear. The WNBA has a generational star with more Instagram followers than the league itself. If Engelbert can't step up now, do you think the league should risk its future on her leadership or make a change?